Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Hema Ranawaka, session compeer. I would straightforwardly declare open the session on safeguarding gender rights and combating gender-based violence. Now, I would like to introduce the co-chairs. Dr. Lakshman Senanayaka is a medical specialist in sexual and reproductive health. His extensive background encompasses clinical practice, advocacy, and policy development in the realm of family planning and sexual and reproductive health. Dr. Senanayaka is well known for promoting reproductive health rights and contributing to national health initiatives in Sri Lanka. Professor Anuruddhi Edirisinghe is the Cadre Chair and Senior Professor of Forensic Medicine at the University of Kelaniya, Sri Lanka. She is the first female to hold a forensic Cadre Chair post at a national university in Sri Lanka. She is an expert in research, postgraduate and undergraduate teaching, forensic medicine, women and child care, and prevention of child abuse and gender-based violence. Professor Anuruddhi has made numerous contributions in her areas of expertise, such as journal publications, books, presentations, etc. And the list goes on and is exhaustive. She is currently the president of the International Association of Clinical Forensic Medicine. So I invite the two co-chairs to conduct the session.
Thank you very much, Hema, for the kind introductions. Without any delay, we will start the proceedings. Today, according to the sheet that we are given, the first presentation is from Dr. Arpita Das, and she will be presenting on the title, Effectiveness of Survivor-Centered Multi-Pronged Approach for Addressing Sexual and Gender-Based Violence in Bhutan. If I say a very small introduction of Dr. Das. She is a senior performance learning and impact advisor at the International Planned Parenthood Federation South Asia Regional Office, a trained demographer with a doctorate in population studies from IIPS Mumbai, and she brings over a decade of experience in research, monitoring and evaluation, specializing in SRHR, gender strategy, adolescent and clinical health, abortion, family planning. Dr. Arpita is also a recipient of Prof. J.R. Reilly Gold Medal for Best at IIPS. So it's over to Dr. Das. You have 10 minutes for the presentation, and by 8 minutes I will raise my hand, and because I have to manage this session, so we'll start.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much everyone to join this session. Quickly, I'm moving towards my presentation. We did that proof of concept study, that is the complete evaluation, to know about that effectiveness of survivor-centered, multi-pronged approach for addressing sexual and gender-based violence in Bhutan. I would like to, introduce my co-authors, that, Dr. Sering and Dr. Minakshi, they are from Bhutan, and Ashita and Dr. Rajiv, they are from Population Council India. We know Bhutan is a very peaceful, carbon negative country, but the gender based violence during COVID, that has been, the prevalence actually increased a lot, more than 50%. Particular project we adopted, that is that whole 360-degree approach and focused on that survivor centered. We included different, stakeholders into that intervention. It is a completely qualitative study, not quantitative. We did that in-depth interviews with different stakeholders, and those who gave consent to part of this evaluation, they are only considered, and total 58 we called narrative interviews, the detailed interview things. After, collection and everything, we did that, analysis. That is that very much inductive and deductive approach to identify the themes and sub-themes and the quotes. And the study revealed that lack of awareness among women regarding their right, particularly on SRHR, before they come to renew for any help. When we are asking about that question about knowledge and awareness, it is very much normal violence in the society. Child marriage is so much prevalent. They face the violence more as compared to the elder counterpart. Alcoholism and extramarital affairs of husbands or partners were cited as the most common triggers of violence. This evaluation is proof of concept study. If we can mention that, different testimonies from the survivors, they highlighted that profound impact of Renew's program on their lives. This intervention promotes women's autonomy and agency and reproductive choices. The intervention, that is the aim to have that reintegrate those survivors into the society. Vocational training to the women, that is important, and faith-based leaders also highlighted that importance of engaging more religious leaders in different parts of the country so that they can, orient to the crowd in the society about that, negative effect of gender-based violence. The trainings given to the women have brought positive feedback and impact to them. Many successful stories of women clients, when they return back from the shelter home, they opened their own small-scale industries. This approach or the intervention has very much, positive impact and scope for that scale up. So that one thing they mentioned about that SBCC, that social and behavior change communication could be added. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Das, for sticking to your time. We will be giving the audience time after everybody presents from the paper 1 to the paper 5. So make your questions ready. We will be getting the authors to discuss further, right?
The next presentation is by Dr. Kanthi Hettigoda. Dr. Kanthi Hettigoda is a senior lecturer in psychology and a chartered clinical psychologist, registered with the Sri Lanka Medical Council and British Psychological Society. She holds a PhD in military health psychology from University of Hull and an MPhil in clinical psychology from the University of Colombo. Additionally, she has an MSc in organizational management and a bachelor's degree in psychology from University of Peradenium. Dr. Hettigoda currently teaches at the University of Peradenium. She is also the president of Sri Lanka Psychological Association and serves on national mental health committees. The kind of person that I like to have as a friend for emotional support.
Thank you.
We will talk on exploring the effectiveness of an awareness video to change attitudes and knowledge about LGBTQ community among undergraduates in Sri Lanka. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Professor. Good afternoon, everyone. Directly moving to our topic, we all know that whether we like or not, the LGBT, those who identify themselves as part of LGBT community is increasing day by day. So we wanted to explore how we can change the attitudes of the other counterparts, other students in the university about this LGBT community. So the main objectives were investigate undergraduate students' knowledge and attitude about the LGBT community. And secondly, we wanted to know how we can use awareness programs in terms of, in this particular research, we used a video, can actually change these negative attitudes. The methodology as a research design was quasi, and we went on we combined both qualitative and quantitative. Variables were like awareness tool on LGBTQ community. And the sample for the first phase, actually for the qualitative half, we interviewed as a focus group discussion, and then second phase was second and third was we delivered, actually we assessed their attitude, 150 undergraduates, how is their attitude and their knowledge about LGBTQ community. After the interview, we prepared the questionnaire, then we pre-tested the questionnaire, then we gave this 10-minute long video, and after 2 weeks we reassessed, assessed their attitudes and the knowledge about LGBTQ community. Actually, mean attitude score was lower than knowledge at the pre-test level. So there was a significant change in attitude attitude and knowledge both after the intervention. Some of the students who scored low in attitude change, they said, yes, we know this is a fact, but we have a very strong, deeply rooted attitude that this is wrong in the society. So they say it will take some time for us to change our attitude, but we know now we shouldn't discriminate these colleagues or counterparts who are having this. Even to the university community, we have to consider the cultural context. We can change knowledge, but to change attitude, we need to take long-term actions, long-term programs, and empowering the LGBT community as well. Right. Thank you
for the timely presentation. And let's move to the third presentation. That's AKM Anizuman. I think I have pronounced it to a certain extent. He would be talking about breaking the silence, revealing gender-based violence among Hijra and the transgender communities in Bangladesh. Over to you, Mr. Anizuman. Suman is a program manager at Bandhu Social Welfare Society, where he leads health initiative with a focus on SRHR. With the extensive experience, he has held key roles in both national and international organizations, gaining hands-on expertise in gender justice, SRHR, GPV, and various other areas. He holds a diploma in volunteer management from the Asia Pacific School of Volunteer Management in Australia and completed the Global Tobacco Leadership Program at Johns Hopkins Bloomsburg School of Public Health. Anizuman also holds a postgraduate degree in physics from Chittagong University. So from physics to gender-based violence, I'm very impressed to listen to you, Mr. Anizuman.
Thank you so much. This is AKM Anizuman. Bandhu Social Welfare Society actually working with the gender diverse population and leading organization in the Bangladesh. Hijra is the basically trans women. This is the breaking the silence of the gender-based violence against the Hijra and transgender community. This study actually analyzed the reported gender-based violence in cases which we have documented in every year. We want to know the pattern of the gender-based violence as well as the responsive program and also properly response for this gender-based violence as well as advocacy for the gender-based violence. Data we have collected from our legal unit called INALA. Over the year, collected different right violation cases among the gender diverse population and different kind of right violation including the gender-based violation. In 2023, Bandhu Social Welfare documented 208 right violation cases. Among them, we have seen that 40% right violation cases. Among the 83 cases, 67 cases were successfully resolved through the mediation. Different kind of gender-based violation occurs, and also social stigma lead the discrimination and economic marginalization. Bandhu has been working directly with the active working for gender-based violation for prevention and also response program for referral through the referral of the victim. And a positive shift was observed that slightly reduced the GBV cases. We need to actually emphasize on the awareness program, response program, as well as the prevention program. And urgent need the targeted intervention, because there is no targeted intervention among the gender diverse community people especially for gender-based violence. We are not providing only awareness program. Also from this perspective, we are collecting the data and we are documenting the data and cases. Support system is not, those are providing support to the gender-based violence, but they are not actually well acquainted and they are not actually well known about the gender diverse communities need. Hijra are recognized by the Bangladesh government, but other community people among the LGBTQI population, they are not recognized. So that policy, it would be a good initiative to policy reform and recognition of the other LGBTQI community person. That's all.
Thank you. You have saved time also. So let's move to the next one.
Dr. Chanika Dilhani. Chanika Dilhani is a psychology graduate from the University of Peradeniya and holds a master's degree in social work from the National Institute of Social Development, completed in 2022. She currently serves as a probationary lecturer in the Department of Psychology and Counseling at the Open University of Sri Lanka. Previously, she held positions as a temporary lecturer at both the University of Peradeniya and the Open University. Please go ahead.
during the COVID-19 pandemic period, there are a number of intimate partner violence cases have been increased throughout the world in Sri Lanka. Many research have been done to identify the prevalence rate and the attitudes regarding gender-based violence, but very less amount of research articles and research concern about the risk factors as well as the protective factors. So my research attempts to understand what are the protective factors. This research is a qualitative study actually, but in depth try to understand what are the protective factors that enhance and safeguard married women from intimate partner violence. So my main objectives were to describe about the protective factors that safeguard married women not only within the COVID-19 pandemic period but also pre-COVID pandemic era, as well as analyze what are the factors that remained effective both within the COVID-19 pandemic period as well as the pre-pandemic era. Finally, split them out into different domains. Intimate partner violence is actually complex scenario, and I just want to sort these factors into this different level. And at the very initial level, I conducted several key informant interviews to have a very good insight regarding this topic. The sampling method is a convenient sampling. As I mentioned earlier, the study is done within the Kaltar district context. The age category is 18 to 55 age category, and married women. The sample consists with the married women who successfully mitigate intimate partner violence in typical times, including the COVID-19 pandemic period. And the analysis done by the thematic analysis. This is the output of the thematic analysis: personal and economic well-being and social skill competency, and finally is constructive communication strategies. I have observed that economic stability, having a permanent source of income, actually social skill competency, constructive communication skills were remained effective not only within the COVID-19 pandemic period but also before the pandemic period. And the ability, cooperation and empathy were significant protective factors against intimate partner violence. The women's higher educational level and economic stability actually act as the protective factors, but their effectiveness is influenced by the relative economic positions of husband and their educational level. So we need to identify very long-term resilience factors and enhance social and communication skills. Develop holistic intimate partner violence preventive programs. Support financial stability. Final one is the crisis preparedness and response. Those are my take-home assignments from this research. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Dilhani. I'm inviting the next person to present in this panel, that is Niranjala Sumatipala, and her title is Help Seeking Behavior of Women Facing Sexual Violence by Intimate Partners in Sri Lanka. If I say a little bit about Ms. Niranjala Sumatipala, is a lecturer in the Department of Demography at the Faculty of Arts, University of Colombo. She specializes in demographic analysis with a focus on migration, mortality, morbidity, and sexual and reproductive health. With expertise in applied demography and statistical methodologies, she aims to provide insight that support public policy, healthcare, and social services, contributing to a deeper understanding of population dynamics and public health. We are delighted to listen to you, Ms. Sumatipala.
Today I'll be presenting my research topic on help-seeking behavior of women facing sexual violence by intimate partners in Sri Lanka. The objective of our study to examine and provide a descriptive analysis as to who among the victims of sexual violence seek help and who does not, and also if help is sought from which type of person or institutions, organization it is sought, and analyze the association between selected characteristics of women and help-seeking behavior. Our study is based on secondary data using Women's Wellbeing Survey 2019 conducted by Department of Census and Statistics. From the total sample, 148 women reported they are facing sexual violence in their lifetime. Data was analyzed by using SPSS software. Especially, we looked at the demographic and socio-economic characteristics. The majorities victims' education level was up to GCE ordinary level. By looking at this data, education level is most important characteristic. I would like to talk about their main daily activity of respondents. Those who are victims of for the sexual violence, majority were doing household activities. 79.7% have shared their experience with someone. Here I would like to talk about source of support. The most of women shared their experience and asked some support from their family members. Help-seeking behavior among women facing intimate partner violence. The majority of women who faced sexual violence not sought help. There are two major sources of support, informal and formal. They shared their experience with their family members, that call informal. Most of women get support from informal sector police. Key reasons for seeking help among women experience IPV. Most of women seek help because they could not endure anymore this situation. Majority seeking help because of they could not endure anymore. And key reasons for not seeking help among why they are not seeking help. Majority of women, they not get some help because bring bad name to the family. Preferred source of support among women facing intimate partner violence. The majority respondents said about their preference, no one mentioned. And also this is a chi-square analysis of our characteristics of women and seeking help. The summary, the help seeking and level of education, help seeking and main daily activity, and help seeking and age of the sexual violence women and employability. There is no significant relationship between their help seeking and these kind of characteristics. So recommendations: educate in informal sectors, develop informal sources and strengthen informal network, and empower women as a whole, raise awareness at the community level. Thank you and have a nice day.
Thank you very much. I think we were supposed to finish this session at 3 o'clock and we are going on borrowed time. We will certainly go ahead with the last presentation. Dr. Nalaka Kulatunga. Dr. Kulatunga holds an MBBS, a postgraduate diploma and an MD in venereology from the University of Colombo and currently serves as a senior registrar in venereology. With extensive experience in primary health care, Dr. Kulatunga focuses on research and care provision for marginalized groups, including LGBTQ communities, with primary research areas in STI treatment, HIV, and LGBTQ health. Actively engaged in clinical audits, sexual health promotion, and electronic patient data management. Dr. Kulatunga is dedicated to advancing inclusive sexual health care and education. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon to everyone. Let me present our study finding, decoding perspectives, insight of government medical officers in Sri Lanka on homosexuality. As we all know, human gender and sexuality is falls into a wider spectrum, and it's not static and it's not binary. Healthcare providers' attitude and knowledge will invariably affect the healthcare delivery. So with this background, we developed this research. This is a descriptive cross-sectional study, and all the medical officers who were employed during the time period of the study was included, except who has not given email addresses and as well as intern house officers. So we have employed the simple random sampling. The calculated sample size was 384 with a modest response rate of 51.1%. So most of the respondents belongs to the age category between 35 to 44. But interestingly, 2.3% of the responding doctors identified themselves as gender non-binary. The scores have been distributed. It is more or less like a normal distribution curve. The statistical analysis shows a mean score of 13.5. So as you can see here, most of the respondents, about 64%, can be considered as having poor knowledge on homosexuality. 6 stems receives less than 20% correct answers. The same study, same type of the questionnaire used and study done in India had recorded the same 6 stems having lowest responses. On the other hand, only 2 stems had recorded more than 80% correct answers. These kind of findings can be maybe due to the prevailing myths within the society. They can foster more misconception within the society. Statistical analysis shows that there is a statistically significant association with exposure to the LGBT patients, and so do with the having LGBTIQ relatives or friends. That's also there's a better knowledge when they have either
relatives or past exposure to the patients. Male doctors had a higher average compared to the females. Then gender non-binary doctors scored higher than the gender binary doctors. Also, young doctors had a higher average again. The doctors who had LGBT training in the past had a narrow discrepancy between the good and bad. Overall, this reflects a poor knowledge about homosexuality among doctors. In fact, the personal and professional exposure may enhance the understanding. We choose this as this study design because it's cost effective. Low response rate is a concern, maybe due to unfamiliarity with the online questionnaires. Post-hoc analysis done on this study give a very high statistical power. So findings are representative to some extent. I could find only 2 studies done in Sri Lanka in the same period where I was done. Both had a better knowledge on homosexuality compared to our study. But one Indian study showed that doctors have poor knowledge on homosexuality. And there's one interesting study done in Switzerland. It shows that receiving interventions improve the knowledge of doctors. We need to give more familiarity within our medical education, not only the medical education, even in the school education on this gender diversity. Thank you.